on ESPN Plus. Well, what's all this buzz about Delaware State? Let's go on down to Dover now and talk with DeSean Jackson, the head football coach of the Hornets. Good morning to you, Coach Jackson.
Hey, good morning, man. How you doing?
Man, you hear all this talk. You feel the buzz. You finished the non-conference portion of the year at 4-3. In fact, you won more games this year than the last two seasons combined already. And your Hornets had a week off to get ready to travel to North Carolina Central. How is the team physically and, more importantly, mentally after this non-conference portion of the season?
Yeah, well first off, to talk about the buzz, I mean, we try not to get too caught up in the buzz, right? We got our head down, chin mentality, and that's kind of been our motto throughout the season. We understand, right? It's going to be obstacles in front of us that we face every week, right? It's going to be different challenges when you play different teams. So, our mentality and our mindset has just been to fall in love with the grind, fall in love with our work. And, we got our hard hats on and our boots on, and we go out there and we prepare and we prepare for every opponent the same way. As far as this past week, man, it was a great week. We had some injuries. We had some guys banged up that, our bye week couldn't come no better place, right? Before conference play. We understand the challenge we have this week, North Carolina Central team, and I feel like is well coached and, do a great job in all three phases of the football game. So, we'll detail our work and we'll be excited to go down there and, our plan is to try to support her at homecoming, man. That's what we want to do. But, we know on all sides it's going to be a tough physical battle. They do a great job in everything they do, but, we're always going to be focused on our hand at task.
Okay. Well, Coach, the word is out. I mean, check this out. A wide receiver head coach has a tremendous running attack.
Yep.
I mean, that's the word. That's the word. Over the break, did you fine-tune the passing game to add that to your arsenal or to enhance that, or simply work on the fundamentals to get the whole team better?
Yeah, I mean, our fundamentals, all three phases, what we always preach here. So, when we do things good, we got to do them better, right? When we do things great, we got to do them greater. And the things we struggle at, we always got to improve at that as well, too. So, I know the stigma of me being a wide receiver and we have such a great rushing game, but, in my recruiting phase and, when our coaching staff came together, I mean, whatever it is for us to win football games, that's what we're going to do well. So I know people are like, man, how's a wide receiver not passing the ball and throwing the ball 80% of the time or 70% of the time? That's not our motto, man. We want to win football games. So whatever it takes to win football games, we're going to do it to our best of our ability. So this past week, our off week, we was able to get some, a few practices in. We gave the players off some time to come back, and then we practiced yesterday, had our bonus day yesterday, and then today's off day, and we'll get back into, Tuesday practicing. But, I mean, overall, it was a well-needed, much rested, and, hopefully we get some guys back in injury as well, too. But, I'm happy with the guys, man. They're dialed in and they understand, what's at stake, and they all remember where people projected us. So that's what right now I have that on my edge, man, because I got some hungry guys in there, man. They just don't forget what people said about us.
Okay, Coach. Hold on just for a few because we got several questions lined up from the media. Hey, media reps, as a reminder, put the raise hand feature up, remain muted until you're introduced. And additionally, after your question, drop the hand down for us, would you? Please limit your questions to just one for Coach Jackson. First question comes from you, Wayne Cartwright.
Coach Jackson, good morning. How are you, sir?
I'm blessing yourself. How you doing, Wayne?
Doing well. First off, let me apologize because I was one of those guys that said that you guys might not succeed this year. But I sing your praises every single week on my podcast. So,
yes, sir.
Yeah. But what I want to say today and what I want to ask you today is, listen, even though we're media people, listen, I understand this is a one-game season. It's a series of one-game seasons. So with this one-game season game this week against North Carolina Central, they know you're going to run the ball. They know you like to run the ball. And, of course, you're not going to tell us your game plan, and I'm not asking you the game plan. But with the focus of this one-game season, where has the focus truly been this week with your guys schematically about what it's going to take to get this thing done Saturday?
It's another opportunity at hand, man. We look at every opportunity the same. I always talk about the preparation and the detail before, we go to battle. And that's in life, you can't skip that. You can't skip the process. if you want the results, right, you got to pour into, the grind of it. And, I've been blessed to be in a position where I've been around some great coaches, right? I've been coached by some Hall of Fame coaches. I feel like, with Andy Reid, Sean McVay, the list goes on and on. I always talk about it and always give credit to the guys that, poured into me and helped me be successful in my career. So, I mean, the pedigree is the pedigree, right? Regardless, win, lose, or draw, you have to put down, your head, and you just got to work. You can't get caught up in what people say, what people think. Wayne, I appreciate you for being honest. You were one of those people that, doubted us and probably didn't give us our flowers in our first year. But, my pedigree and who I am as a person, as an individual, as a competitor, man, is spiritual. I say that word to my players and they say, Coach, that's not a word. Well, in my book, in my dictionary, fearful is a word. And we just, we're everything we do, that's our mentality. And we're not perfect as well. We have mistakes. We have things we can always correct and get better at. But, just the expectation. We go back to talk about the expectation of our coaching staff we put out. And it's very blatant to how we want it, right? We don't sugarcoat it. We don't dumb it down. And for us to have the success, that's what we have to do, right? We have to have every man to a man be held to that standard. And regardless how you feeling, what's not feeling good, what's hurting, how comfortable you are, like I say, uncomfortability is where we want to be, right? Because anybody can be great when you're comfortable. What are you going to do when you're not uncomfortable?
Well, Coach, appreciate everything as always, talking to you every week. Good luck to you this week. Big game. Everybody's excited.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Welcome to the MEAC Football Video Conference by Wells Fargo. Kevin Truzzolini, you're on.
Thanks. Hey, DeSean, what are some of the things that you and your staff identified as areas you really need to improve and you worked on significantly going into your conference opener this week?
Man, first and foremost, the run game. We feel like we leaving stuff on the table. I'm gonna be honest, man. Our offensive line coach Eugene Chung, our running back coach Clinton Portis, our offensive coordinator Nemo Washington. I mean, we look at some of these films and we're getting big runs and marquees. James Jones, Kobe Boykin, Jaden Jenkins, Deuce Weston. I mean, these guys are making heck of runs, but it's still on a few plays they're missing reads. And we could have last week we ran for, or the week before we ran for 600 and something yards. We could have ran for 800 yards. And I'm being humble saying this, but I'm just saying as far as a coaching staff, when you look and you break down film, I'm sure every coach could sit here and tell you what the success you have is still things you could do better at, right? So the thing we do the best is where we feel like we need to improve. We need to clean up in the run game as well. We need to clean up in the pass game. We need to, swarm better on defense. We need to swarm to the ball. We need to create turnovers. We got to play complementary football, right? All three phases playing in one sequence, right? And, when we go out there, if we can do that, like I've been saying from the get-go, we're going to be a dangerous team, and hopefully it's showing.
Thanks, Coach.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, next question comes from James Hill.
Hey, Coach, I hope you and everybody on campus are well. How's it going?
I'm good. Yourself, James? We're good. You all right?
Yeah, I'm blessed. Talk a little bit about you're here. Now it's all about the MEAC, but when we look at your resume, we know what you're about. The Super Bowls, the Pac-10, the whole nine, everything you set out to do, you've been able to achieve that, the Pro Bowl.
Yes, sir.
But talk about being a leader of men, and now you go into another hostile environment at Central, and it's that one game, that one opportunity is kind of like a Super Bowl. But just talk about that opportunity coming up.
Man, yeah, we're excited. First and foremost, we're acceptance of the moment. We understand the hostile environment we have to go into going down to Durham, North Carolina. It's going to be a pretty nifty bus ride. We got to get ready to sit on the bus for 5 to 6 hours, and I'm not looking forward to that as well. But the opportunity presents itself. Like I said, this is their homecoming week. As me being a first time experienced guy that experienced homecoming here at the HBCU, I'm sure Coach Oliver understands a lot of distractions, and I'm sure he's telling his players the same thing, right? We have to focus on the main thing at task, and that's to go 1-0 every week, right? The same message is being delivered from each and every one of these coaches on this call today. So for me, the opportunity, I love it. I'm excited. I can't wait to see how MEAC conference play is going to go down. We're arriving for it, and we want to be feet on land. Everything we do, we're feet on land. We're feet where we're at present at any given time, and we know it's going to be a tough battle, but you know, we're excited for it and we're ready for the challenge at hand. So I mean, that's the moral of the story here. You know, it's going to be a tough play throughout the MEAC conference. We don't care what guys' records are. Everybody is 0-0, right? We all have a chance to go win a championship, which is going down to Atlanta and playing in that Celebration Bowl. So everybody's encouraging, everybody's saying the same message. We're just excited for the opportunities.
Thank you, Coach. Much success and good luck as you build this program. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, up next for you, Coach, is a question from Doc Holliday.
Coach Jackson, how you doing this morning?
Hey, Doc, I'm good, brother. How you doing?
I'm doing good. You say going into this is your first round in the MEAC.
Yeah.
You say you need to clean up some things, especially on the defensive side of the ball.
Mm-hmm.
What is the things you want to try to improve on the defensive side to get ready for this pretty much this prolific offense in North Carolina Central?
Well, yeah, well, I mean, you know, every time you get an opportunity to play a football game, you know, you dial into what is it going to take to win a football game, right? It's hard enough to win games in general. So, you know, everything almost has to go perfect for you to win a football game. And if it doesn't go perfect, I mean, as long as you do what you need to do, you have a chance to win a football game. I think, you know, when you shoot yourself in the foot and, you know, you have, you know, penalties and, you know, misconducts and unsportsmanlike, you know, all those type of things is things that you have to, you know, get out of your play, right, when you're playing. So, you know, we've stressed that all year. You know, I think, you know, in the beginning of the year, we dealt with it a little more and we've cleaned it up a lot in the past. This team does some great things, right? Since day one, when they played their first game, you know, I have my eye on them guys and they do some great things in the run game. They have a great running back. Their quarterback's, you know, a great passer. He does some things on the ground as well, too. You know, we just know it's going to be a challenge. You know, they have a good physical defense as well, too. They got some defensive linemen. You know, they have a defensive end from California that I know as well, too. He played for Coach Clark in high school. So we've been hearing the noise, and, you know, they definitely have been a team that's been proven in the MEAC conference. They've won, and they're proven. So, you know, it's another opportunity at hand for us to go up versus a team that's been the guys, been one of the top big dogs in this conference, and we have our first opportunity to go down on their homecoming, on their home field where they're comfortable, and you know, hopefully do something that hasn't been done in a long time. And you know, we're up for the occasion.
All right, appreciate you, Coach.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
Thanks, Doc. Dr. Kenyatta Cavill, you're on.
Kenyatta Cavill, Dr. Cavill, inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Good morning, Coach.
Hey, good morning, man. How you doing?
I'm doing well. I wanted to piggyback on Doc Holliday's comment in terms of your defense, but I wanted to specifically look at a player. Obviously, you've had a lot of success offensively running the ball, so you know what it looks like in terms of a running back that is very solid in what they're doing. So I wanted to feature Chris Mosley in terms of a Big Ben candidate. In terms of what he's doing at HBCU football running back.
Mm-hmm.
He's been solid this season, as you are well aware of, 738 total yards, 127 carries, getting in the end zone 6 times. What are your thoughts in terms of your defense of what you want them to see? Obviously, holistically, you want to stop certain things based on what you've seen on film, but targeting him, what do you need to do to slow him down from your perspective?
Man, it couldn't get no better than going against, you know, our running backs in practice. I think,
Yep.
You know, we have to face Gillis, James Jones, and those other backs that we go against every week. It's challenging for our defense because, you know, we've gave up some yards on the ground. You know, the passing game as well, too, right? Overall, it is what it is. I feel like, you know, our defense has done pretty good this year, but if anything, we could have got a lot better and, you know, putting pressure on the quarterback, right, and holding up some run fits. You know, and it's just really swarming to the football. But overall, I mean, as a whole, I mean, you know, we won 4 games this year. So without being able to win those games, you know, it would have been tough to have won those games without our defensive play, if you get what I'm saying. So,
Yes,
you know, he does once again. I think him and Gillis.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Him and Gillis go back and forth week in week to see
Right.
who's leading the rusher in the MEAC, right? And I always give Gillis a hard time.
Upgrading.
We got somebody. Yeah, I always give Gillis a hard time because You know, some weeks I look up and, you know, he got him. I say, hey, man, that dude over in North Carolina Central got you, Gil. He's like, well, he get the ball more. And, you know, I only got this many carries. And, you know, we got 3 to 4 different running backs. So, you know, I just say, man, hey, you can't make excuses, man. When you the big dog, you the big dog, regardless how many carries or what you're doing. You got to make the most out of him. So what he does well, right? He's a downhill runner. You know, he can catch out the backfield. He makes people miss. He's physical. And I just think our defense, you know, we just got to get to him, man, and we got to swarm at him. You know, we got to have 2 or 3 guys tackling him every time, you know, he gets his hands on the ball. And, you know, we just got to fit up in the run game. Our defensive line has to put pressure on the quarterback, make him uncomfortable. And just, you know, we're going in there to rattle him, right? The quarterback, you know, you can't play, you know, comfortable ball when you're getting rattled. So we just got to get it. We got to get him off. We got to get him moving. We got to get him to make some bad decisions and put the ball in the air. And hopefully we come down with it.
Appreciate that insight and sharing a little bit about how you acknowledge the player, but at the same time reinforce from your players in terms of challenging. Great insights. Keep it up, Coach Jackson. Look forward to the matchup this week.
Thank you, man.
Coach, I know you anxious to go. We just got about 4 or 5 more for you, okay? Dwayne Nash, you're on.
Good morning, Coach. How you doing?
Hey, good, man. How you doing, Dwayne?
I'm doing pretty good. You got the number 1 and number 2 offensive teams in the conference facing off this weekend. What are your thoughts on this potentially being a shootout? And with your issues with penalties earlier this year, how do you go, or what is your message to your team to try to temper their attitude and temper their emotions so that they don't get provoked into being penalized this upcoming weekend down in Durham?
I mean, to go off the 1 and 2 offenses in the MEAC, you know, I can say this, man, you deserve it, right? Whenever you go out and you're able to put that together and with the yardage, right, the scoring of points, you know, and guys that have the statistics to help us get to that, you know, 1 and 2 offenses. That's something you just have to embrace. You have to know it week in, week out. You know, people are going to be targeting you to try to stop you and figure out ways to show you different looks. The biggest thing I would say, we're up for the challenge. We understand what we do well. We understand things we can improve, right? And every week we go out and we try to get better at the things we need to improve on. I mean, it's simple to us, right? Now coming into this environment, we know it can be a shootout. Do I want it to be? No. If I'm gonna be honest, you know, I want to get more stops and I want to score more. So I think Trey Oliver would say the same thing, right? I don't think he wants it to be a shootout as well, too. Now, if we got to go down to a shootout, hey, let the best man win, and we'll do that, right? But as far as, you know, us, we're just focused on ourselves. We're focused on being the best polished team. And, you know, with the penalties, you know, we addressed that early in the season. And, you know, it's just more being disciplined. You got to be well disciplined. You got to be well coached. You know, at times when that split second comes in your mind that you do a bonehead play or to be selfish to put I in front of the team is where you have guys that you got to say, you know what? We can't afford to have that because we will pay for it. If a guy makes a decision, a mistake like that, he'll have to pay for it during the week, man. So I think our guys just don't want to have to pay for it because that is brutal what they have to go through if they're making those type of mistakes and putting I in front of the team because there is no I in team.
All right, thanks, Coach. Good luck this week down in Durham.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, Coach Darryl Duvall has a question for you.
Good morning, Coach. You know, first of all, I want to kind of piggyback on Wayne. Now, I thought MEAC made a real good choice in bringing you in, the coach, to change that environment up at Delaware State. So I just wanted to throw that out there too, right there. So,
thank you, Darryl. Yes, sir.
Oh, you're welcome, man. And I also got some players in Texas I need to send up to your way, man.
They got to be ballers, man. They got to have some experience. They got to be ballers, man.
So this week, man, you got North Carolina Central. We've been talking about that on the call right now. And so, and one of the things, and I had a question already, but the main thing is the penalties. How have y'all been doing this week and working on that and the mistakes that y'all had? Because, I mean, this is a game. This is a game this week, man.
You kind of broke up a little bit when you was first asking. Can you repeat it?
Basically working on some of the mistakes that you had talked about in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And clearing that up for this week's game. How have you been doing that in the game this week, practicing, not playing this weekend, and everything?
Yeah. Well, I mean, to not have a game for us was, like I said, it couldn't have came in a better time. You know, after playing 7 games and now you getting a week off before you go into, you know, conference play. I think North Carolina Central had 2 bye weeks, right? So as a coach, I mean, I would like to be able to be in a position where your guys can be well rested. I know they've been coming off of, I think, a 3 or 4 game winning streak, whatever it is. But we understand what they do well. We understand they got some momentum. But I would say for a coach, if I had momentum, I wouldn't want a bye week. I would want to keep going as well too. So I would, hope this bye week that they got, and it's their second one. I hope it slows them down a little bit. And you hear what I'm saying when I say hope right now. We got to be ready to play. However, we got to win a football game. We got to be ready to play. But in our hindsight, man, we was able to take this week to get some practice, right, to work on some recruiting as well, and really just rejuvenate, man. A lot of our coaches, obviously, some of them been coaching, and then you got some that's new at this level as well too. So, I think that stretch, 7 games in a row, 3 on the road, was kind of tough on some of these individuals, some of these players as well too. So for us to be able to have a reset, to go home, see your kids, see your family, and put a smile on your face and come back and say, hey, we got 5 more of these things. And it's 1-0 every week, right? You can't lose no games. If we want to go play in that Celebration Bowl, we have to go 1-0 every week. And we understand that, and we're up for it. And, we're just ready to go down the dorm this week, man, and go have a ball.
Hey, good luck. I'm going to have my popcorn and hot wings or whatever ready for that game this weekend.
Yes, sir. Thank you, man.
Okay. Brandon King, you're on.
Good morning, Coach. How you doing?
Hey, good morning, Brandon. I'm doing good. Yourself?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Obviously, there's been so much, and rightfully so, made about the effectiveness of your run game. Obviously, you've got the number 1 rushing attack in both the MEAC and FCS overall by a wide margin. You've got 3 of the top backs from a statistical standpoint in the conference. So you've definitely got dudes in your running back room. But as you know, the success with that starts up front. And I wanted to ask you about some of the big guys up front that have been plowing the road, so to speak, for some of those thoroughbreds that you've got in the backfield.
Yeah, I would even like to take it a little further, man. I think, the MEAC, FCS, and FBS, man, we up there, we got 2 running backs. I don't even think the FBS team got, these 2 dudes, man, that we got at running back, man. They've been doing some lights out special things on the football field. We couldn't do it without up front line, right? We got Justice up front, our center. We got Elijah Payne, who missed the first 4 games. We got Kai Wallace. And to be honest, man, we haven't even had a full healthy line all year playing together. Like our first team offensive line has not played together all year for 1 game. And it's just, man, it's mind-blowing to see some of the things they're able to do up front, man. Eugene Young, who's a offensive mind guru, man. He's done some great things in our run fit and just getting our scheme, man, getting our philosophy, getting our guys to be able to hit on the second level on some of these defenses, man. So, I just take my hat off to them. I think we're coaching our butts off. Our expectations is high for our players, and I think they're doing a great job of coming out there and just making us successful and making us right, man.
Well, thanks for that insight, Coach, and good luck this week.
Thank you, man. Appreciate
you.
Okay, let's see. We got to Dr. Cavill. You're back on. You had another question? Your hands are still up, so you just left your hand up.
Yeah, I apologize. Hands still up.
Okay. All right. Perry Daniels. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Lynn. Good morning, Coach Jackson.
Hey, good morning, Perry. How you doing?
Super fantastic, Coach. I want to ask you about communication. So you are taking your team down to Durham for their homecoming, which is considered one of the best homecomings in HBCU sports. With you never having been in that environment, how do you prepare your team for that environment?
Well, I think it's a twist, it's a catch-22 to your question. You said I've never been in that environment, but I know my players have. I know some of these coaches I got on my staff's been there. And for me, man, unfamiliar territories, I feel right wherever I'm at. The way I was raised and where I came from growing up in Los Angeles, put me in any condition, anywhere in life, I feel like I'm going to make it out. So I'm not worried about me. I'm worried about my players. And some of these coaches I got on my coaching staff has been in these environments, and we know what to expect. I've played in some heck of environments. I played at Oregon before being, at University of California. I played in Seattle. I played a lot of places where the crowd and the noise always has been an advantage, you know, for that home team. So I know what I'm capable of doing. I'm not on the field. It's not about me. It's about putting my players in the best scenario in a situation. Forget what I've been in. I know what I'm capable of doing. So my players, it's all about the players, man. It's not about the coach. We're going to do our best job at getting the game plan to them guys, and they got to go out there and execute it. So it's really not about me. It's about making sure our players are comfortable, man. And I think they'll be ready for this opportunity.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck to you this week.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yes, good question. Good question. Mia Berry, you're on this morning.
Good morning, Coach. How are you?
Hey, good morning. I'm good, Sylvia.
I'm good, Coach. You know, the bye week also allows for some rest and some reflection. So year one of the DJAC era at Delaware State for you. What grade would you give yourself right now, you know, given what you guys have already accomplished versus, you know, the second half of the season still coming up?
That's a setup question, man. I can't give us no grade right now. We ain't did nothing yet. I mean, you know, we won a few games, but the parade ain't happened yet. The parade, we're about a month and a half away from the parade. So until we accomplish what we want to accomplish, I can't give myself a grade right now. What I will say, you know, I'm very impressed with the guys, how they handled this thing coming into this year. They've you know, stood up for the challenge, and you know, week in and week out, we go out and we continue to compete at a high level. And you know, we look at it like this, man: let the best man win. Whoever's going to put the preparation in into week in and week out and accomplish what they want to accomplish, then they'll go out on Saturdays or Thursdays or Fridays, whatever day that is, that we're blessed to play this game, and hopefully we can do everything we can to win it, right? So, you know, with that being said, you know, we got a lot of work to do. We haven't yet to scratch the surface.
Okay, Coach, on a more personal level, what about you? First year head coach. I know you've had that internal reflection. What has that been like? How are you grading yourself?
Not done yet. I can't do it. I can't get set up yet. I'm not doing the clickbaits. You know, we're humble. We're not gonna get complacent. Maybe if you ask me in a month and a half, I got an answer for you. But right now, I got the head down, chin up mentality. We're working, and you know, we're continuously going upright, and that's what we'll do.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you so much, Mia. Coach, before we let you go, Stephen Gaither sent this one in. Coach Jackson, you've never shied away from your team's past. Your team has dominated. This team has dominated Del State for most of your returning players' careers. Does that make it easier to get them focused for this game, in your opinion?
No, I don't. It don't nothing make it easier. You know, we have our opportunity to be the 2025-2026 Delaware State Hornets team. We don't get caught up in the past. Yeah, I don't shy away from it, but you know, I wasn't a part of the past, right? I understand that, and I take it on our chin, and our players that were a part of it understand that as well. They have an opportunity to come do something special in the Jack era, right? And that's what we all are up for. We know this team is different. We know from coaching to playing, it's a total different. It's a total different roster. It's a total different coaching staff and mentality. So no disrespect to anybody before, but we do it different here right now in this era.
Coach, thank you so much for your time. I know you got to get back to work, game planning for the big one in Durham, North Carolina. The Delaware State Hornets are going to hit the road to Durham, Carolina, as the Hornets versus the Eagles will kick off Saturday, October 25th in Durham at North Carolina Central University. It's going to be a 1 p.m. kickoff on